Hello everyone, welcome to the ExtentReport session. So in this session we will see how we can generate and customize the ExtentReport in the Selenium WebDriver. So in any automation framework, if you don't have a detailed informative automation report, then your automation framework will be incomplete. So there are mainly two reports. They are widely used in the market. One is the ExtentReport and another one is the Allure report. So ExtentReport is a library, third-party library by which you can create beautiful, interactive and detailed reports for your test execution. So ExtentReport provides ability to customize the report by adding different events such that pass, fail and skip. We will get the screenshot for the failures. We can add the tags, that means different categories. Devices, for example, on what browser you run your automation, different versions of the browser, then a platform like Mac machine or Windows machine. So that kind of information we can add in the devices section. Yes, we can add the author information also, the person who has created that test script. So by having all this information in the ExtentReport, it will help you for better analysis of the automation text execution. ExtentReport also provide the report dashboard which consolidates all this information so that it will be easy for us to understand everything, and we can share that report with all the team members, managers and other stakeholders also. So if you go to the official website of the ExtentReport, you will get all the information that is required to generate this ExtentReport and customize it. So we have different versions for the ExtentReport. So this is the version 5. So we will go for the Java. Here you will find the complete example. Okay, if you click on that, it will show how we can generate the ExtentReport. What are the different steps are required. So they have also given one sample report also. Let's click here. So there are different options on the left hand menu. This is the list of tests, whatever test you have executed. So for every test you will get the name of the test. Okay, so for every test we will have status, timestamp and details also. So in the details they are showing the screenshot that we can open, right? And in the details you will get the log information as well. Other thing is where we have the different exception that occurs in the test automation. Then here we have the categories. So with the help of these categories we can easily able to filter out the test from this automation result. Then we have the devices section here. Then we have the author, and here this is the dashboard. So on the dashboard it is showing the time when the automation started, when it is ended, how many tests got passed, how many got failed. So this dashboard consolidates all the information in single page, right? About the timings, about the test executions, author, tags and devices. So for the author table, tags and devices, we are able to see how many tests passed, failed and skipped. And here we are getting the pass percentage also. So the only thing that is missing from these tables is the total number of test execution. So for the ExtentReport, there are different reporters available for BDD and non-BDD that we are going to attach to our ExtentReport. So we will be using ExtentSparkReporter. Here they have given how we can set up it for the Maven by adding this dependency. Okay, and there are different reports. Yeah, this is the section. So this reporter will generate a .html file. Okay, so once this file is ready, we can open this file with the help of any browser on your system. So these are the steps you need to follow. Okay, so let's go stepwise. So first step is to add the dependency for the ExtentReport in the pom.xml file. Okay, so once you add the dependency, just save that pom.xml file or build your Maven project again. Second step is to set up ExtentReport using the ExtentReportManager class. So in this class we will create these methods. So we will create this setupExtentReport method in which we are going to initialize our Spark reporter and ExtentReport objects. So we need to add detailed information about every test, right, in the ExtentReport. So for that purpose we will require this createTest method. Then we will require this getTest method so that we will get the current test object and we can log the different information such that log, status, etc. We will require this getReport method to get the report, and at the end we will require to call this flushReport method. So when you flush your report, then only all the information will be available in our ExtentReport. So let's go and create these methods in the ExtentReportManager class in our framework. So ExtentReportManager class we are going to create under the src main Java. Here we have created the separate package for storing the code related to any automation report in our framework. So first let's implement the setupExtentReport. So first let's create the object for ExtentSparkReporter. and in the bracket you need to provide the information about where you want to store that HTML file. Okay, so this will create ExtentReports folder at the framework level. Under that, this extend.html file will be generated. So at the end, we are going to open this extend.html file with the help of system browser. Then we will require the object for the ExtentReport also. So this object reference we are going to use in multiple methods. So I will take this out. Let's define this at the class level. So we can make it as private static, right? So with the help of this reference, we will first create the test and then we will log our information. So to define the test, we need to use the ExtentTest class first. ExtentTest, okay, equal to use this reference extend dot. Here you can see different overloaded method for this createTest, and I will provide a test name. So what should be my test name? That name I am going to pass whenever I am going to call this createTest method from our listeners class. So that will be in the string format. Let's say string test name. So same I will use here. So we have given the name to our test. Now we can add the category. That means from which group this test is running. So this should be running from the sanity or regression or any other category. So for that, again we have the category method, assign category. So instead of hard coding this category value, we have already divided our test into sanity and regression, right, by using these groups, right? So that also I will catch here. So this group's name we will use directly as a category. So we have the test name, we have the group name also. So what other things we can add? We can add the author, so person who have created that test, and the device. So dot add author, so assign the author. So this author name also we will send while calling this createTest method from the listener class. And last one is device information. So we have assign device. So for now I am going to hard code the browser is equals to Chrome here. So this look much better, right? Instead of writing in a single line, we will add it on a separate line. So we can use this ExtentTest reference in other methods to add the information about that particular test, about the logs, about the screenshot and the exceptions. So every test we are going to run on the separate thread, right? For that purpose, we have used the thread local variable here. Okay, we have used the thread local for the WebDriver. So same we are going to use for our ExtentTest also. So let's create the thread local variable for our ExtentTest also. So we are going to call this getTest method to log the information about our test. So this getTest method simply return the current value of this test on the current thread. So while creating the test, we have added the test name, category, author and device. So same information we need to add in our test variable. Test.set ExtentTest. So this getReport, it will simply return the object for the ExtentReports. And for the flushReport, we are going to flush our ExtentReport. So extend.flush. So by calling this flush method, it will flush all the information to the extent.html file. So our ExtentReportManager class is ready with these methods. So let's start adding different information in the ExtentReport. So any information that we want to add at the suit level, for that we will use the before suit, and anything at the test level you will use the before test. So in the before suit and before test, similar to the logger information, whatever we have added for our suit name and test name in the logger, same we can add in our ExtentReport. So these two things we can add as a system information in the ExtentReport. So if you see this report from the ExtentReport website, it do not have the system information section. So in that system information section, we can show the suit name, we can show the different test names, the browser on which we run our automation, then platform, right? And later we will see how we can add the different counters for the total number of tests, pass, failed, percentage of the pass as well. So from the suit, before we start execution of any of the tests from the TestNG suit, we need to set up our ExtentReport, right? So we need to call the method setupExtentReport from this class. Okay, so this method we need to call. So and all these methods are static, so we will directly use the class name. So all the system information will be at the report level. Okay, so same ExtentReportManager dot getReport. Okay, so we need to use the getReport. GetTest we will do when we want to log information at the test level. Dot set info. So here you will find set system information. So here it will accept two values, one is key and its value. Okay, so whatever suite name we are getting from the sanity XML, that name will be shown in the ExtentReport. Okay, so this one, and for the different test we will get these names. So same, I will copy in the before test. I am going to add the test name. Now next step is to use the different methods from the listeners for logging events, exceptions, screenshots. This is our my listener. Here we are overriding the different methods from the test listener. So using the on test start, we can add the information about the method that is started. So whatever information we are going to log in the ExtentReport using this listeners will be at the test level. Okay, so you will be required to call the getTest method, createTest methods. Okay, so all these are the static methods. So directly use the ExtentReportManager dot createTest first. So instead of directly method name, I will provide the class name also. Okay, this is how we will get the first value, class name dot method name. So method from which class it is coming. So that information we will get from the ExtentReport itself. Then the second value is in the createTest. What information required? The test name, then groups, and here it should be author, right? By mistake I added the groups. It should be author. So from here we will send the group name. So first let's get the group name. That code we have already added in the base test. So here context will not work. We need to use the result variable dot get context. Okay, get test context dot get included groups names. So this we will send into the ExtentReport, and this should be the author. So for now I am going to hardcode it. So next method that we can use to add the log information into ExtentReport is on test success. So here also we will require the class name and method name that is successful. So I can directly copy this, add it here. So I will get the class name and method name. Same, once test is successful, means once it is passed, I will log the event with the pass status in the test. So log the event with status dot pass. So here I can write like this: test successful, we will get the class name and the method name which is successful. And when the test is started, that information also we can log into the ExtentReport. So same, I will use the ExtentReport dot getTest. So this time I am just adding a information. So what I can do, dot log, then status dot info. So in the same format we can add the information as well. Test started. So whenever a test is failed, we are taking the screenshot and we are adding the log information as well. So same, we will add this information in our ExtentReport. So in the ExtentReport, what things we will require? One is the method name which is failed, then its log information, that means whatever exception or whatever error we got while running it, and third thing is screenshot. So similar to the pass event, we just need to use the same. Instead of pass, this time we will use the fail. Okay, log the event with status equal to fail. Here we can write test failed, and you will get the class name and method name. And to log the exception, again use the same status fail. So instead of this message, this time we will log the exception itself. So we will get the exception using the result dot get throwable. So this get throwable will return the information about the exception. Okay, so same we will add in the ExtentReport, and if there is no exception, then it will return the null. Now to add the screenshot, here we are adding the screenshot. Okay, here we are storing our screenshot on the local machine, but that screenshot has to be in the ExtentReport, right? So from the try block, I can add the code to add the screenshot. So again, screenshot is for the fail event, right? So again I will copy the same, So instead of status, this time I will log the information. What we are doing here, we are adding the screenshot. So let's say screenshot for failure. So on the local, we are storing our screenshot at this location, right? Okay, so let's create a string variable for our screenshot path, and same we can use here. So I have updated this. I have created a string screenshot path variable where we are getting this screenshot path on the local machine, and then we have created a file object with this path. Okay, so this will simply create this screenshot on our local machine. So this path or this screenshot we need to send to our ExtentReport as well. So in the extent, we have a method called media entity builder, and we need to create the screenshot from the path. So we have different methods here, so I will directly use this one. From the path, we already have the path where we have stored our screenshot, and at the end you need to call this build. Okay, it is important. Okay, and instead of log, so I will use the fail method here. So in the ExtentReport, we will get information about when test is started, when test is successful, when test is failed, right? And next thing we required is when test is skipped. So I will directly copy this method. So when test is skipped, we need to use the dot skip here. So test skipped. And whatever error that we got for that skip, that also we can add. So status.skip and result.getThrowable. So we are done with our fifth step, that is most important step. So step number 6 is optional in our case because we have already logged the events for pass, fail and skip using the listeners methods, right? So if you want to add some more information at the end of method execution, you can use this after method annotation. So let me show you how we can do that. So in the after method, before closing the browser, we can add the events in the ExtentReport by using this simple if else statement. In first if condition, we are just checking the result status. If it is test.failure. So in this case, we need to log the fail event with the getThrowable. That is the whatever exception we got. So if method is skipped, then ExtentReportManager.getTest.skip. Okay, log the skip event with whatever exception. And at the end, if test is not failure and if it is not skip, that means that is pass. So we can directly use the ExtentReportManager.getTest.pass, and we will write this information in the ExtentReport. So at the end of method execution, this after method annotation is going to execute, right? So here we can add the information about the method execution is completed. So seventh step is use the after suite to generate report by flushing the report. So this will be the one-time activity at the end of execution of your test suite. So we have this flushReport static method in the ExtentReportManager class. So just call that method here in the after suite. So all these steps to generate the basic ExtentReport for our framework is completed. So let's run few test cases and let's see whether the report is generating or not. So I'm going to run this sanity.xml. Here we are running the test in parallel. Right click, run as TestNG suite. So one of the tests from the registration page is retrying, as we are intentionally failing it using the wrong title. So execution completed. So just refresh the project. So we can see the folder is created, but ExtentReport is not there inside the folder. Okay, so we must have missed something in the configuration. So we forgot to attach the Spark reporter to the extent object, right? That's why the report is not generated. So extend.attach reporter, and we have used this reporter. So we need to attach it. Okay, it is completed. Let's refresh it again. Okay, so now we can see in the folder we got extend.html file. So this we need to open with the help of Chrome or Firefox, whatever browser you have on your system. So I have opened in the Chrome, and you can see we got the details about our test execution. So we have added the method name with the class name dot method name, right? So sign in page test dot is logo present test. So this is pass. We got the status as pass for this, and page title test from this registration page test got failed. Okay, so we have used the retry analyzer, and we are retrying this method one more time. So the status for that retry will be skip, and in the final status will be fail because it failed in the retry as well. So for every test we got the different status, timestamp and details. So in the details we got test started, then test failed, right? And we got the exception as well. Okay, so this is the exception: assertion error, page title does not match. So whatever exception we got, whole exception we have added in our extent report, and we got the screenshot for the failure as well. So let me try to open it. For some reason it is not opening in the full mode. Okay, I need to check that. And at the end we have added this log information, right? Method execution completed. So for the exception we are getting this two entries. So this entry is coming from our listeners class, right? And this entry is coming from our @after method annotation. So first let's see why this screenshot is not opening, and then we will see about all the tabs. So you can see in the screenshot path we have created the full path, and we have given the name to our screenshot, but we have not provided any extension to that file. So let me concat it with the .png extension. Okay, so we got the latest information. Let's go to the fail. Let's try to open it. Yeah, so now it is opening. So for every test we got all the information about the timings, when it is started, when it is completed. Then these are the information we have added as author, then group, and this is the device. Okay, so I will go to the exception part. Here you will get the exception. So one test failed due to the exception. This is the registration page dot page title test. So again it will take you to the failed information. So third tab is category. So we have run our test from the sanity group. So from this sanity group 4 tests got executed, 2 pass, 1 failed and 1 skip. Okay, so this 1 skip, that means whatever method that we retried. Then we have the devices as a Chrome. Here we have the author, right? And this is our extent report dashboard. So now let's see few customization that we can do in this report. So in the system environment information we will add the total number of tests executed, how many pass, how many fails, and the percentage. So in the tables we are not getting the total number of tests got executed as a part of that sanity suit, right? So that information we can add in the system information. Few other things that we can do is you can provide the name to our report, we can provide name to our document as well. Then we can change the theme as well. Okay, currently it is in white, we can make the theme as dark as well. So from this setup extent report we will set the document title, report title, and our report theme. So use the Spark reporter dot config. So use this method to change the theme. So by default it will be white theme. Okay, so we need to change it to the dark. We have dark, we have standard theme. Okay, standard means white theme, so we will use the dark. So again Spark reporter to set the document title and report title. So documents, set document title. We have this set report name, and here we will set the name to our report. So this is my Amazon automation report. And if you are running on a single browser, that information also we can add in the system information. So use the same method to add the OS information. So here we can hardcode the OS value, or we can directly get the OS from the system information. So we can do that using the system class system dot get property, and just provide OS dot name as property name. So other configuration that we can do is I can change the font, I can make it bold or italic also. So let's try for the test name. So I am going to make it bold. So in the current report, we don't have the total number of tests executed, right? So that information Extent has not provided. So let's try to add it under the system information. So that we can do at the end of our test suite execution. So we need to use the after suite. So I will be defining few integer counters. Okay, so all these are initialized to the 0. So we need to increase that counters. So every time a method is completed, from this after method, I am going to increase the total test counter. Okay, so when test is failed, we can increase the failed test counter. Here we can increase the skip counter. And when test is passed, we can increase the pass test counter. So at the end of test suite execution, we will get all the values for this total test, failed test, skip test and pass test. So we just need to add it in our ExtentReport now in the system information. So how we can do that? We just need to use the ExtentReportManager dot get the report first dot set system info. So this is my total test executed, and what is the value for that? Total test. Right, so at the end of suite execution, whatever value we got in the total test, that will be our total test executed. So this set system information required both the values in the string format, and this total test is in integer format. Just convert integer into the string using the string class. So actual value for this total test executed will be total test minus skip the test, right? So whenever a test is failed, we will retry for one more time, right, using the retry analyzer. So that value we need to subtract from our total test. And for calculating the pass percentage, let's define double value here. So it will be in the double. So like this we will get that percent. So we just need to add it in the report. In this way, we will add the pass percentage into the ExtentReport. We need to convert the double value for this pass percentage into the string, right? So here also we need to cast double. So both the pass trace and this result will be in the integer format. So we need to cast double, right? Then only we will get the value into the double. So let's see whether it is working or not. So execution completed. So total tests are 4. So from this we are subtracting this retries number to calculate the total number of tests executed. So we will see what is the difference between this version and the next version that we customized. So in the previous version, we can see we don't have any document title, we don't have the report title also. So we got the automation report, and here also we got the proper Amazon automation report. So these names we can change as per our requirement into the ExtentReport. Then here you can see the theme is dark. Previously we had the standard white theme. Then the method names or test names are not in bold format. So that also we customized into the bold. And previously in the automation dashboard, we did not have any information about the total test executed. So now we have added the logic. Let's open the dashboard. So here you can see we got all the values, like for browser we got Chrome, OS, Windows 10, suite name, test names, total tests executed are 3. In that 2 passed, 1 failed and 1 skip. So for calculating this pass percentage, we have used 2 divided by 3 into 100. So that will give you 66.66. So here we can only show 2 digits after the decimal point. So we just need to format our string value. So here instead of value of method, I will directly use the format method. So in this format, this pass percentage double value will be converted into the string format. Okay, so let's check the report now. So just refresh it. So here you can see we got this 66.67 now. Let's try to compare the by default TestNG report. So that will be created under the test output. So just open this emailable report.html. So you can see instead of this TestNG report, the extent reports look much informative and beautiful. Here we can filter the different tests using some shortcuts available in the ExtentReport. For example, I just want to see the pass test. So I will just press P from the keyboard and it will only show the past test. If I want to see the failed, just press the F and it will only show the test which got failed. If I want to see the skip, press yes, right? It is showing the skip. And to change the theme, you can use the L button, press L, and it will convert into the standard theme now. If I press L again, it will be converted into the dark theme. So that's all for this session, guys. I hope this video will help you to generate and customize ExtentReport in your automation framework. So let me know if you face any issue in this. Thank you.